Hello, and welcome to the Eugene Family YMCA YouTube channel. I'm Coy, I'm with Kim, I'm joined by Kim. We're going to do a video for stretching and foam rolling and a little psoas release. Please consult your physician before beginning any exercise program. Make sure your space is safe. If you get lightheaded, dizzy, or short of breath, please stop. All exercise is done at your own risk. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, we're going to start with the foam rolling. And we're gonna roll the quads first, then the adductors and the lats. We're gonna do the quads. Kim's gonna do the version with the foam roller. This also can be done, some of these other tools we have back here, a softball. We'll have Kim try that too. And then I'll show you the modification for this. All right, so Kim is gonna get into the plank position, and she's gonna use whichever piece right along the front of her thigh right here. Right there. We're gonna start right above the knee. When we're doing foam rolling, we wanna make sure we never go over any bony spots. We're gonna stay in the muscle area. So we're gonna stay above the kneecap, and we're not gonna go over this bone up high in the pelvis. So this is good. When we're doing a foam rolling, one thing we wanna think about is we're not moving away from pain, we're moving towards pain. Not a sharp pain, but if you have some soreness in there, that's what we want to work on. If you find a particular sore spot, you can hang out on that, and you can try this technique where you breathe in real deep, expanding your ribs, and then you hold your ribs out there and stay on that spot where you breathe out real slow through a small hole in your mouth. I call it straw breathing. And you can hold on that spot, and on your next straw breath, you can do a little tiny vibration. She's gonna work from the knee, getting closer and closer up the hip. Very good. Kim's got her foot and her knee and her elbows down as anchor points. That's gonna help her to be able to maneuver and put as much weight as she feels comfortable on her leg. Let's go to the other side, and let's have you use this softball, Kim. This will be fun. And I'm gonna use this version here, or I'll use this actually. So this is the modification. It's just getting on the ground is the challenging part for you. If putting your weight on your quad like that is challenging for you, this is a very good version that I can do here. I'm gonna start down here. I could use a stick like this, or I could use a ball and smash it in. We're looking for spots that are sore, and remember, do your straw breathing. Breathe real deep. We may aim for about 8 seconds on the breath out. Kind of lean back here so I can really get into these tissues. This is our first area. Generally you can spend, especially if it's an important area, you can spend 2 minutes on an area. That's a good amount of time. It's found to lengthen a tissue out. If it's an important area, that's when you want to spend 2 minutes there. And this area is generally one of the most important. Okay, we're going to switch to the adductors now. This is our second group. This is the inside of the leg. This is a technique that a lot of people don't feel comfortable with in the gym, but we're working out at home, so this is the perfect time to do this. And so we're going to have Kim basically the exact same position here in the plank. She's going to bring her leg up to the side like this, and we're going to get all on the inside of the leg here. The roller is perpendicular to the angle of her femur. So if she were only able to get up the femur up this high, she would just angle the roller out a little bit at a perpendicular angle. This would definitely be one that a lot of people will want to modify and do this version, which is also very good. I'm going to take my hand underneath the roller and this one up here, and then I'm going to run under the stick and I'm going to push into my adductor like this. This is one that a lot of people will feel this down low, and some people will feel it up high. wanna try the other side, Kim?
Oh, I guess.
Okay, let's have you switch. Well, let's have you switch balls again. Let's have you use this one this time. There is an advantage to the shape of the ball being round and penetrating the tissues. Maybe it's hard to see what's going on here, but basically just the same thing as before. Kim, what do you think? Do you feel like that makes a difference? The shape of that ball?
It's different.
All right, she says yes. Okay, so there's the adductors. Those are the first two groups. There's a lot of good muscles to hit, and we're just gonna do the ones that are most closely related to where we're going, which is releasing the psoas. So the next one that we're gonna do, we're gonna go to the upper body real quick, and we're gonna do the lats. So for this one, let's get the foam roller first. And you're gonna lay on your side. You'll take the hand that you're not gonna be on and put it down in front of you for support. And then go down to your elbow above on the other side of the roller. There you go. So the first thing that we're gonna do is you're gonna find this tissue. We're gonna have, it's like your ribs and then this big piece on the back. And you're gonna be on that, slightly on that big piece. That's good, Kim. So you can extend that hand overhead. And now, point your belly button up slightly towards the ceiling. There you go. Whatever you gotta do to get comfortable there. There you go. Right? So we're gonna go all in this, down to the bottom of the ribs, all the way up into the armpit. Spend as much time as you need in the different spots. Think about each rib being its own spot, all the way down and up. We're getting lats here. Undoubtedly, you're probably getting some serratus anterior too. Very good. Remember to do your straw breathing. And this one is really great with the softball or a tennis ball to really get in there.
Okay.
There you go. So we're gonna start usually in the middle. Let's see, check that placement, looks good. She's using the rest of her body to mediate how much weight she has on that ball. This is really painful, I know, and there's spots in there. Remember,
warn me.
Go into those spots and do your straw breathing. Breathe in and really expand your ribs. And then when you breathe out, keep those ribs out. Hold the ribs out as you breathe out really slow through that straw. That's good. Now work it down. Let's keep going with this one a little bit and work it down so you get a little bit further down the ribs. And you're taking that lat, this muscle back here, and pushing it back off the ribs. And you're at home, right? So this one can make you yell out, and you can go ahead and do that now. Okay, very good. Thank you, Kim.
Thank you.
All right. We're gonna hit one more spot with the myofascial release. We're gonna go, well, it's a big one. We're gonna get on the IT band. So you know you have this bone out here. This is your hip trochanter that sticks out. We're gonna go about 3-4 inches below it. And we're gonna start working our way horizontally across this spot. And then we're gonna move off into the quad, almost where we were with the other roller, and then work our way up to this point right here. This one we'll definitely use a tennis ball for, or the softball, which is harder, but. So this is, and then after we get to this point, then we're gonna move back over above this trochanter and below your pelvic ridge here, we're gonna move back to the backside. Okay, so this is a huge anchor point for tension, for all the vertical tensions that you're facing in life, so this one will be big. All right, let's go ahead and try, Kim. So you get on your side, just lay down there, and then position the ball. And then let's position the ball below the trochanter. That bottom foot's gonna be straight out in front of you here, and the other foot can be, usually mine's in front, but, all right. All right, and you just kind of maneuver yourself there. Are you on a sensitive spot in your IT band? Yes. This one's big. So you're right there about 4 inches below. Explore behind it, explore in front of it. And that's where we're starting. Right here. I'm gonna sit down on the side of this chair and get the same thing going with this. A Theracane would be a good tool for this. Also, I can take this and something like this and drive it in there, right? We're just torturing ourselves. Is this really on the video? All right, now as you do that, we're gonna start working your way in front of that hip trochanter up towards this point right here, the front, stick out in front of your hip. This is the ASIS. And try this technique too, Kim. Keep rolling those little mini rolls. You find a sensitive spot, do your breath, and then lift this leg off of the ground, the whole leg, like that. So now we're stretching while we're on that spot. You got great faces coming. Let me see where you're at.
On the front.
All right, good. So remember, 2 minutes, and this is one that's definitely worthy of 2 minutes. All right, so are you up to this top spot?
Yep.
Now we're gonna start heading, we're gonna stay below this bone, and we're gonna start heading back around just the side of the body. And remember, you can still do the same thing with the leg pumping. Bring that heel off the ground and then back down. Very good. Now this is intense stuff. Wait till you feel what it's like afterwards. All right, and as you get back there, there's lots of more sensitive stuff. Maybe 2 minutes for this and 2 minutes for this will be good. Let's go ahead and switch to the other side.
Whew.
So starting 3 or 4 inches below this bone, this bony projection, going the back, the front here, working all this area. Find those sensitive spots. Do your straw breathing. If you're really breathing out for 8 seconds, when you're doing the straw breathing, and you can think about 4 or 5 breaths is really a good amount of time for a set. Now I'll go over here while Kim's doing this and continue this modification, which is just driving this into this area, give myself a massage. A lot of different tools. I might get something super hard for this. If I'm doing this with my hand, like a Theracane would be great. You off to the glute medius already?
I'm a little faster on this side. I know what's coming.
There you go. And remember your leg pumping too. There you go. Straw breathing. Okay, Kim, go ahead and come to standing. So I encourage y'all to please spend as much time as you need on those spots. It's definitely going to pay off. If you want to, you can time it out for 2 minutes. So you feel a little freer maybe, yeah?
Feels good?
All right, so we're going to do some standing stretches. The first one that we're going to do is, we're going to do chicken first for the hamstrings.
Okay.
So chicken, I do this in all of my classes, a little hamstring stretch. We're going to prop the front foot up in front of you like this. Point the toe back up towards you. Then we're going to lift your hips up high and back. Think about your tail coming out. You can keep your chest out like a chicken. And we're just going to do this for a second, kind of a warm-up stretch. Active, and go to the other side. Just for a second, and switch sides. There we go. Pulling that tail up in the back. Chest out, tail out. Now I can think about driving my heel into the ground and like digging myself out and kicking myself out to make it an active stretch. Resist on the way down and kick yourself out. Now we're going to do a side-to-side stretch. So this is our first stretch for these muscles, for the adductors. We rolled them out. That's probably making quite a bit of difference on how far we get. I'm gonna do the same thing. Maybe I shouldn't go that low. I'm gonna do the same thing here where I drive my heel into the ground. You kind of resist this stretch in the bottom. Pull myself out. Same thing over here, drive my heel into the ground. Make this an active stretch. This is a wall here. You can use any wall. We're going to do a couple of upper body stretches. The first one is a bicep stretch. It's called the bicep stretch. But you can feel this anywhere along this line. So you're going to put your hand against the wall here. And then and your fingers are pointing back. I'm going to take my fingers probably a little bit lower than my shoulder for this version. It's almost like I'm pulling. It's almost like I'm pulling myself away from the wall. And I'm pulling this out. So I'm gonna turn, keep my chin tucked, keep my abs back, and then turn out away from the hand. Turn my chin like this. You may feel this all anywhere in this area. Sometimes you may feel it more in the wrist or the biceps. We're gonna add in a piece to this, which is we're gonna turn our head the other way. Take your chin down like you're trying to touch the clavicle. Do a straw breath there. Another option for this one is add in your hand to your head here. You kind of tilt it down. Stretch the muscles in your neck here. Should we switch?
We should.
Okay. So this is an imaginary wall, but you have a real wall. It's kind of like a pulling force. You're pulling yourself away from it. First thing to check is chin back, abs back, and I'm going to turn out into the room. Turn your head. And then we're going to go chin down the clavicle. And I'm gonna add my head in, my hand, and my head down. Alright, so there's the bicep stretch. So now we're gonna do a stretch for the lats. I'm gonna have Kim face the wall here. She's gonna be active with her fingers. Her fingers are going to keep pulling up during this entire stretch, are going to keep pulling her up the wall. So she's going to start crawling up the wall, and all 4 of those fingers are actively pulling herself up. She can even come up onto her toes if she feels comfortable. Keep those fingers crawling, keep them working the whole time. It's important. Keep grabbing that wall and pulling it towards you. And then she's going to rock off to the right. Take both hands off to the right, and keep going. That's your left, that's cool. Keep rolling those, pulling those fingers, and then go over to the other side and do your straw breathing here. When you're breathing to the side, you might feel these lungs really expanding and holding those out while you hold that breath. Go back to the other side, Kim. Very good. And back to the top. High as you can. You can't get high enough. Keep going. All right, keep crawling as you walk yourself back away from the wall and crawl yourself down. All right, very nice. The next stretch that we're gonna do, this is one of the biggest parts of this program, and this is a stretch for the rectus femoris, and there's a lot of variations of how we can set this up. So the first one is a stretch like this. This is where I'm going to support myself on the chair. You may want to do this one. I'm going to sit down and I'm going to take this foot back like this. Here I'm going to make sure I squeeze my abs. I'm going to squeeze this glute hamstring a little bit right here. And I can even use my toe on this version to kind of pull my foot back. And I'm getting a stretch for right here, in front of the quads, right? That's first version. Second version, Second version, I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna do the same things. Make sure on this one was super important is that this foot down here on the leg you're stretching is pointed straight ahead, that toe is pointed straight ahead. So I'm gonna lean forward here, squeeze my glute hamstring and squeeze my abs, pulling my hips up in the front, and then I'm gonna stretch there. So there's two versions of this stretch, which are modifications. And then I'm gonna show you my favorite version, which is this lunge stretch here. Let me set up, Kim. All right. So we're gonna put this down. We're gonna put that down for your knee. Yeah, I shouldn't go too low. Okay. And then we're gonna have you use this. This is a chair. This could be a couch. This could be a pillow from the back of the couch, right? Or just another pillow. And we're gonna do this lunge stretch. No?
Yep.
Nope, it's gonna be like this.
Oh.
So you're gonna face out away from it. Your foot and then your same side knee are gonna go down here. Now that might be a hard thing to get into in the beginning. So what you can do is you can go down to all hands and knees and then put this foot up behind you and maneuver yourself in this position. All right, so this is what we're gonna do. So the first thing is we're gonna make sure our hip is in front of the knee, which Kim is already in that position. And then we're gonna squeeze the glute hamstring back here. And then we're gonna squeeze our abs to tilt them up in the front. More like this, Kim, do like more in there, right? And this will be more of a challenge for some than others. This is a big, big time stretch, right, Kim? So if this foot being high like this is not comfortable for you, you can even do this against the wall. How high your foot is doesn't really matter that much. It doesn't have to be an extreme angle. It can be fairly bent. So this is the lunge stretch, and this muscle shares the same job as the psoas, which is pulling down here, which you can see that can put a kink in the whole chain. All right, excellent, Kim. Let's turn this chair around and we'll do it the other way, so they can see your side again. Most people, this will be a huge stretch for. So yeah, start on the ground so we can show this version. But this is an easy way to set it up. You can swing that foot out in front. Alright, good. So we're gonna make sure first, hip is in front of knee, and then we're gonna squeeze that glute hamstring, and then squeeze your abs up in the front. Remember to do your straw breathing. This one is definitely worth 2 minutes. This is one I usually add all kinds of modifications in. Like, Kim is using her left leg here, so she can take her left palm up and then take her other hand and push that wrist up. Feel how this adds something into the abdominal level. Now really make sure you've kept your abs on during this. This is number one stretch. Thank you, Kim. Okay, then we're going to move to a stretch for the glutes. We're going to do a pigeon. This will be on the ground, the mat. Let's move your chair over here and chill this one like that. Guess I'm not going to get on the ground. So we're going to start with hands and knees. Kim's gonna take one foot and put it straight back onto her toe. Then she's gonna turn the other foot in to her comfort level. She can move the knee out to the outside if she needs to a little bit. And she's just gonna sit herself back and relax here. And she may decide to change the angle of her shin, sit it more across. Everybody's gonna be a little bit different. You may feel a better stretch moving around here. If comfortable, Kim will come down to her elbows. Remember that straw breathing. You can move and manipulate your position here. Try to change this stretch. Wherever you're feeling like you're getting the most intense feeling, that's good. That's a good intense feeling. And this is the pigeon. We have another version on our back. Let's do the other leg. The other version on our back, where we're gonna just pull in. Okay, so now you can take people feel comfortable putting their hands around their opposing leg and pulling it in like this, see? And this is pulling her right leg in to give a stretch for the right leg. Some people might have short arms and they just pull their shin in like this. That'll do the job, that'll do the job. So this is a stretch for the glutes. And now we're gonna do a stretch for the adductors. So first let's show frog. I guess you're gonna show both of them.
Yeah.
So just leave the mat like this, I think, and your head will be down this way. Maybe that way, but you're gonna go sideways on the mat so your knees can go out wide. Okay. All right, so come down to your forearms here. And now start sending your knees out to the side as wide as comfortable. And the first thing you're gonna do here is start rocking back and forth this way. You're gonna feel all of these different adductor muscles in here. There's about 5 muscles in here that are doing this job that you'll get a stretch on. You may find one of them. Count Psoas too. Pauline's correcting me. Pauline's making sure I'm on it. All right, so once you find a good spot in there, this is what I love to do, is I'm gonna come up to one side, bring your right hand up and turn your body slightly that way. And feel how this will increase the stretch for your opposite side on your adductor. All right, remember your straw breathing. Go back to the other side, maybe do a breath on each side. Of course, the other version for this one is Happy Baby. Let's show the Happy Baby. This is another one that people don't always feel comfortable doing in the gym, but luckily these are at-home workouts. So there's a lot of ways. Some people grab their feet, some people grab their knees. I definitely grab my knees, and I put my hands on the inside. You can do it like Kim's doing here. I go like this. I grab around the inside and below the knee, and then I push down to the side. Everybody's got different shapes. Some people grab their feet and do the original version of the Happy Baby. All right, so this is a stretch, and Kim can do the same thing where she can kind of pull down on the right more. She can concentrate side to side more. Like that, she can rock them up towards her ears and back down the other way. Very good, so there's the Happy Baby. All right, now we're gonna do the psoas stretch. We've worked a lot of the muscles that are tied in, doing some of the similar functions of the psoas and are connected by fascia to the same areas. So we're gonna now do something called the constructive rest position. And for Kim, this means you're gonna get on your back here. Go ahead and lay on your back. And you're gonna put your feet up in the air, your feet down and your knees up in the air, all right? Scoot a little bit that way so your feet can be off the mat. All right, so in this position here, Kim's gonna put a little bit of weight in her heels to kind of give a little bit of flattening to your low back. This is one of those areas that everybody's a little bit individual. Some people won't be able to flatten their low back at all, and that's fine. They'll have a little bit more curvature, different shaped bodies. A little weight in the heels flattens the low back, and Kim's making sure that her neck doesn't pop up either. It's a good job. And do this straw breathing here. This position is the constructive rest position, and it's gonna be very relaxing for the spine and relaxing for the psoas too. And one thing I like to do here is, like when you're doing this constructive rest position, do this straw breathing through one side of the ribs at a time. So really stick your left ribs out when you breathe in and hold them out there as you slowly breathe out. And then you're gonna repeat this on the other side. With this video, pause this video anytime that you want to spend more time doing this. This exercise in particular, you could do this for a long time. You could do this alone, separately, as a relaxation technique. It can be very relaxing for the ribs to do this side-to-side breathing. Okay, from here, we're gonna move into the psoas pumping position. So Kim is she's gonna put more weight in her left leg and a little bit more tension on her abs, kind of sucking in the middle, like a donut all the way around, and let her other leg slide out straight. Very good. And this is all about the amount of control that Kim can have in her abs right here. So what we're gonna do here is Kim's gonna do a leg pump where she's gonna lift and pump this leg up in the air about 3 to 5 inches like that. Point the toe straight up. There you go, and kind of make it a smooth motion up and down about a walking pace. What's really pivotal here is that you're holding on to your abs and you're just doing this slide motion, a little bit with a little swifter, I think. A little swifter, yeah. Hold on to your abs. If you do this for about 30 or 40 seconds, you may feel a little burning up high, slightly on the inside, right about here on your femur. That's the attachment point for the psoas. The insertion point. Okay, go ahead and stop and let that rest. When we do the second side, I'm going to show you a little bit of a modification that some bodies may need. If you have more of a curve, you have a larger derriere, this might be an important modification. Okay, let's go ahead. Yeah, you can switch to the others. You can go all the way around. Okay, so you just did your right leg. Right, so I wanted to show that if you put this leg here, this will help somebody that has extra curvature, extra hips going on here, get a little bit flatter and feel a little bit more secure. What do you think?
It does. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you're holding on to your abs, and now we're gonna lift this in there, and you're gonna do this 3 to 5 inch walking speed leg pump where you really hold on to your abs. Doing well. Do this straw breathing. It usually takes 30 or 40 seconds and you'll get that nice little, almost a pinpoint burn. Up high, slightly on the inside of your femur. Got it? Okay, so once you have that, just go ahead and rest down. I'm gonna take this chair. Okay, so the next part of this is the most important part of the psoas release. We're gonna take this and put this underneath the tailbone. This is gonna be kind of strange. What you're gonna do is you're gonna put this underneath the tailbone to make that spot that got a little bit sore the highest spot. So this is a rolled up yoga mat, and this could be anything that's just kind of soft and not too wide that can fit underneath your tailbone. Let's see where that is. So it's probably, for most people, it's probably gonna be lower than you think. Right, and it should be an effort to try to get your low back down, and it won't totally get there. Okay, so what all that this thing did was make it easier, make it more relaxing for you to be in the one leg position. So you're gonna keep your left foot down again and send your right leg out straight and sit it down on the ground here, and this is it. So this point, which we're kind of showing the wrong leg here, it's okay, but this point that got sore should feel like it's maybe the highest point. You have a little bit of tension on your abs, sinking in and pushing down. With this roller, made it a lot more relaxing. We'll go ahead and show it this way. Always go through this and do this twice. This is one that's really good to spend a lot of time on. We're just lengthening out the psoas. And we're gonna add something into this. Watch the integrity of your back. It should be relatively flat to the ground. Maybe there's a little bit of arch in your back that you need. But you're gonna maintain that, and you're gonna do a snow angel out here to the side. There, to where only to your level, only as far as you can go without compromising your back and the ground. You can hang out up here, or you can move back and forth. And this is adding in tension to the top part of the psoas. Go ahead and just stay up there and sit and just rest. Keep your abs down and let your ribs really expand with your breath. Let's go ahead and just do this one time on the other side just to show them. So pull this foot up, this one down. A little bit of tension in the abs. Everything else is pretty relaxed. And the little point that got sore feels almost like a spring coming from it, hopefully. And again, this is the same thing. You can put this chair underneath this other leg if you need to for your body shape. We're gonna do one more position from here. This is the last thing that we're gonna do. This time you're gonna send both feet out straight. This one's less relaxing. You're gonna have more tension on your abs for sure here. And then you're gonna have to do snow angel with both arms here. So now we're in this position. The only thing that we really have tension on is this hopefully transverse abdominis kind of sinking in all around, cinching in, ribs expanding with your breath and holding out there. Just leave your arms up here, Kim, and just let them relax. So when you do this psoas release and all this stretching, it's a really good remedy for sitting, which we're probably doing a lot of sitting, so that's we're forced to sit. But this muscle, is ineffective when we sit too much, and this is a good technique for releasing it. After you do this, you don't want to go right into sitting again. Probably good to you can stand and have a little snack, walk, run, anything that's hip extending. This is really going to improve. And let's go ahead and stand up. And what do you feel? You feel great?
Feel good.
Loose?
Yeah.
All right, that's it. Thank you for watching our video. This is just the kind of the bare bones of the psoas stretching release. I have all kinds of movement stuff. Maybe we'll